Hey guys, and welcome back to Sonic and the Secret Rings. Oh, I hope you're not sick of 7 rings in hand yet, because you're going to be hearing it a lot. Alright, here we go to the first world of the game, and actually, probably one of the best. This is Sand Oasis. The skill ring here is what you'll be putting all your very RPG-like skills into. Right now we just have ring bonus, which allows us to, I don't know, have more rings, I guess. I wasn't really paying attention. I was mesmerised by my audacity peeking in the background. Man, I should probably turn that down at some point. But anyway, the first level of each world is traditionally just it's a standard run through. You get a feel of the level that you'll be going through many, many times after in slowly more convoluted and complex ways. But right now you can take it easy and just soak in the admittedly rather gorgeous art style. I love the look of Sonic and the Secret Rings, much more so than Black Knight, honestly, which I find to be a tad dull in the environmental design department.
Well, you see, that is because Black Knight is set in Arthurian England, which, let's be fair, it's England. It's going to be rainy and frickin' miserable. So there's only so much that you can do in terms of the visual locales. I feel that Black Knight does a really good job with what it's got, but of course Secret Rings is always going to have the slight edge in that respect because there's going to be more colour and uniqueness because we're dealing with the Arabian Nights.
I will disagree with you both there because I do prefer Black Knight's look. I think a lot of it is very pretty. Like, this in itself is a very pretty game, don't get me wrong, like, especially given like it was a very early Wii game.
It was, yeah.
It, like, visually, like, this is leaps and bounds above the sort of Sonic games that you got on the GameCube era stuff. So, like, compare this to Heroes, for example. Like, this is beautiful by comparison. But I think from the world, I just prefer the world of Black Knight. But I prefer Black Knight as a game as well, which I know me and Tom have butted heads over before.
I don't understand that. We will probably, like, redo Black Knight at some point, because the one FDA and I did is very much showing its age, much like the Unleashed playthrough, and I guess SA2, so look forward to those two getting a redo, but we're mostly going to be focusing on new games for the time being. So, Rich, what's your opinion of Sand Oasis as a level, mate? What were your first impressions upon playing the game?
Well, my first impressions were this is alright, apart from when you're asking me to homing attack over death pits, at which point I kind of went, no.
Yeah.
Like, this is the first fucking level, man. Come on.
Because that's when it starts freaking out and you're just like, this doesn't quite work. And also Sand Oasis has some utter rubbish in terms of the missions that it's going to ask you to do.
I thought you were going to say the music there, and I was about to get fired up because Let the Speed Mend It is legit, mate.
Yeah, I have to say, Secret Rings does have a really fun soundtrack, in part because of all the lyrics and vocal tracks. Because to be fair, it feels different to most other Sonic game soundtracks. I suppose the only other game that I can think of that has mostly vocal tracks is Sonic Rush, I think.
I think you mean Sonic R, mate, but you'd be correct on both, I think.
Well, Sonic Rush is more samples than original vocals, but still, yeah, there's vocals there.
But all the levels have vocal tracks for their level themes.
Some better than others.
Yes. But I would say that Secret Rings does a very good job with its soundtrack, and it's a lot of fun and exciting. It is just that whole thing of they repeat certain songs far too much for their own good.
And, the controls. Oh, if only the controls worked 99% of the time instead of 80%.
Well, 80 is being generous, at least from my experiences of the game. Like, sometimes you get to play ball for a while, but then other times you go to home attack forward and you go like somewhere you didn't have any intentions of ever going.
Well, I'm gonna like put myself out there and say I have problems with the controls. I'm not gonna stand for them and say they're perfect. My biggest problems come from backing up, mostly.
Oh my god, yes, backing up is awful in this game, and really should not exist as far as I'm concerned, because the way it's implemented is just so god-awful that it's just like, just no game, don't even bother.
The fact that Sonic has a break button in the first place raises a few questions about how easy it is to get through the levels, because like you sometimes do have to completely kill your speed on a whim just because, you know, there's suddenly a pit or there's suddenly a hazard. And that can get a little bit frustrating and it can break the momentum that you've built up.
Oh, you're one of those gotta go fast types, are you?
Yes, I am. I want to go fast. That's why I love Sonic. I like going fast.
Well, I should point out that the very first Sonic game had a lot of stop and start stuff.
Hey, I stood on that brick in Marble Zone very quickly. But yeah, in terms of the order we're going through, because Tom is going to be going through a fairly abridged run, and by that we mean we're just going through the stuff that you actually have to do, because fuck all the other missions here.
Thank God. Because some of those other bonus missions are ridiculous. I mean, to be fair, some of the ones that you have to do are also ridiculous, and I will no doubt be moaning about some of them when I'm just going, kill it with fire.
Oh, you mean you haven't already started moaning?
I mean, I have already started moaning, but there are certain levels where I'll just go, this is not okay.
So, how are we going to be running this Flame? Because Flame actually was sitting with me, like we were chatting over Skype while we recorded it, and Eggman was in a pot for some reason.
Oh, that's just his hiding space. But, yeah, essentially, what the biggest problem with progressing through the game in Secret Rings is that there are certain missions that you have to go through just to unlock the next ones that you need to do.
Yeah.
But each time you unlock missions, you also unlock a bunch of like bonus ones, and they're not always, well, they're never clear as to which ones you have to do. So, like, unless you're willing to try and error your way through and accidentally waste your time doing a load of shitty, boring missions on the side, you're gonna have to like look through a guide just to make sure you're just doing the essential stuff. The problem we had is that finding a guide is quite difficult, so we had a bit of trial and error in parts as well going through this.
Towards the end, I'm not going to point out who made the guides, because I sure as shit there weren't any Game Grumps style attacks on the guide writers. Yeah, let's just say they were missing a step or two, and yes, that was a pterodactyl back there, you weren't going insane.
We're in the middle of a book, it's fine.
Yeah, this is the part where they just started making up writing on a whim. Yeah, there's dinosaurs here, why the fuck not?
Well, we'll get to that in the next part. This is just basic, it's an Arabian desert sort of thing, and King Shahryar is back there, who I've never heard of before. He must pop up at some point in the 1001 Arabian Nights, but
well, he does, because he's very, 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 very important to it.
Well, do you want to tell us a little bit about that then, Richie, since you were so kind to bring it up?
Of course, well, because basically this is what I've been waiting for. So obviously you have the 1001 Nights. In Arabic, I'm going to probably completely butcher this, but it's important that I do. It's called Kitabu Alfu Laylatin wa Layla. And basically it's a collection of Middle Eastern folk tales compiled in Arabic during the Islamic Golden Age. It's often known in English as the Arabian Nights, which comes from the first English language edition, which was from 1706, which rendered the title as the Arabian Nights Entertainment. And basically there's various editions of people's translations of it, and the tales can find root in medieval Arabic, Persian, Mesopotamian, Indian, Jewish and Egyptian folklore, and all sorts. But what is common throughout all of them...
Go Sonic! Go! You can do it!
What's common throughout all of the editions of the Arabian Nights is the initial frame story of the ruler, Shahryar, which comes from the Persian word meaning king or sovereign.
Okay, so King.
Yes, and his wife Scheherazade, or Scheherazade, it depends how you want to pronounce it. I think Scheherazade is mostly the correct one, and that possibly means of noble lineage. Basically, the way that the story is that Shahryar, who the narrator called a Sasanian king ruling in India and China, learns that his brother's wife is unfaithful, and discovers that his own wife's infidelity has been even more flagrant, so he has her killed. And basically he decides to marry a succession of virgins, only to execute each one of them the next morning before she has a chance to dishonour him, because, yay, fun!
Wow. And you thought Cusco was an asshole, Jesus.
I know. Eventually the vizier, whose duty it is to provide the virgins, can't find any more, and so Scheherazade, the vizier's daughter, offers herself as the next bride, and her father reluctantly agrees to this. And on the night of their marriage, Scheherazade begins to tell the king a tale, but doesn't end it. The king, being curious about how the story ends, is then forced to postpone her execution in order to hear the conclusion. And so the next night, as soon as she finishes the tale, she begins and only begins a new one. And so obviously then the cycle continues, and he keeps postponing her execution, and that goes on for 1001 nights.
Oh, okay. I actually never knew the origin of the 1001 Arabian Nights, so this is really interesting. I love having Richie on these playthroughs. Flame, what are you even doing here?
I don't know, I'm just wondering when Sonic is going to explore all these themes in this game.
It's never going to happen.
Yeah, I wouldn't hold out for Sonic having to rescue the virgins before they're despoiled and executed. That's not going to be a mission later on.
It might be one of the bonus ones, I've never looked through all of them.
Very true. We did talk about how these missions unlock randomly, so I don't know, maybe it's in the code or something.
Now, something I do just want to quickly mention is the end of the Arabian Nights varies depending on the versions. In some, Scheherazade asks for a pardon. In others, the king sees their children and decides not to execute his wife. And in some others, things happen that make the king distracted. But ultimately, they all end with the king giving Scheherazade a pardon and sparing her life.
Oh, he was a good guy in the end. Oh, what a happy ending to that tale.
Wasn't necessarily a good guy, more he realised, oh, maybe killing me wives is not the best of ideas.
Yeah, it's a real shame when you run out of virgins and you can't be asked to go to the store to get some more. That sweet, sweet level up tune. Fire Souls, by the way, I think unlock stuff in, like, the special book or multiplayer and whatnot.
They do, yes.
Or if you're just playing single player, there are things to put yourself in harm's way to go out of your way to get for no apparent reason.
Basically, yeah. Nice. Yeah, we're battling evil spirits in this game. They're not exactly robots. And in the second game, Black Knight, I believe they were minions of the underworld, which is very metal, I gotta say.
Come on, Tails.
That's another reason why Black Knight's so cool. Stop having wrong opinions.
We'll get to that. So, was Aladdin based on Ali Baba, or were they two separate characters?
Two very separate stories, Tom.
Yeah, because there's
So-
Ali Baba and the 40 Thieves, and Aladdin and the Aladdin, which is a favourite of mine.
It's called Aladdin's Wonderful Lamp.
Oh, okay.
Obviously, something to go into later, because there's probably not quite enough time to go through it here.
Knowing you, no, there won't be, no.
But basically, it's the original Aladdin story, which actually takes place in China, rather than Agrabah. So, that's always fun. But yeah, it involves an impoverished young ne'er-do-well called Aladdin being recruited by a sorcerer who passes himself off as the brother of Aladdin's late father, and then traps him in a cave where he finds a magic lamp, rubs the... Actually, no, I don't think it's a... Oh no, he finds the lamp, gives it to the sorcerer, but he has a magic ring. He rubs the magic ring, and that releases him, and gets the lamp and all sorts of stuff.
Very interesting, because that's how Sonic summons Shara in this game, so maybe they just mixed and matched it a little bit. Anyway, getting back to the game proper, you'll notice how Secret Rings is very sociopathic. It will tell you to do one thing, and then punish you for doing it the next. In the previous mission, we had to avoid the jars. Now we must destroy the jars. What do you want from me, game?
Yeah, it's just Char wants to fuck with you. Like, yeah, we've got the rest of the afternoon. Why not just fuck around with these jars?
Just reminds me of that G.I. Joe thing. Give him the stick. Don't give him the stick. Oh, sandbag, thanks. Appreciate it.
But yes, a lot of this comes down to timing, so just don't be tempted to try and speed through them parts when the spike balls are there. It's not smart.
I'm going to do exactly what I want, Flame, and you can't tell me otherwise.
I saw your outtakes for this.
Looks like I have been rumbled. Rumbled, says I. We should be doing about, like, 2 parts every Monday and Wednesday, and probably, like, 1 part on Friday, so, yeah, come back next time when we have another couple parts of Sonic and the Secret Rings. Bye-bye for now. That sound is going to get really old.